Is there a problem with this update that we just had?
True Call
I
of Duty
mean,
fashion, they've come out with an update that is a complete mess in a lot of different ways. We're gonna go ahead and talk about a few of the issues going on right now. Unfortunately, we can't really spend too much time on the good things that came out of the update because there are a few of them, but I think a lot of the issues that popped up as a result of the update are more glaring issues. So I think they're definitely worth talking about. We'll have some gameplay in the background. Probably towards the end game, we'll lock in and do a little bit of spectating randoms on it. But overall, I want to address some of the issues because I think there's a lot of issues that they need to be a little bit more proactive on addressing.
what issues could they have?
I know they've already mentioned a few of these issues on Twitter with their Call of Duty update account, that they're aware of an issue or they're trying to work on an issue or they're about to fix an issue, which some might even be fixed by the time this video actually gets seen. But in general, there's a huge issue with delayed plating where it looks like they were aware of this one. When you plate, it doesn't put on the plate immediately. So you can actually do 4 plate animation because it doesn't actually, it's really
It doesn't sense the
buggy,
first one or something,
really
maybe?
annoying to play with, almost unplayable. Unless you just really have nothing else to play, there's no reason to play the game when it's that broken for that simple of a mechanic, because that is part of the entire gameplay loop.
Yep.
At least in my opinion, that you get into a fight and then you plate.
Yeah, how do they
So
mess that
doesn't
up?
work. There's a pretty big problem. There's also the revive bug is still in the game. This is something that people have been aware of for a long time. I don't know if it's tied to a specific perk or what specifically causes it. I don't think they actually looked that deeply into content creators' videos, but maybe they'll see a comment and go, oh, that's how it works. Good to know. Let's double check that. But then there's also another bug that came out of nowhere regarding reviving, where it can actually take longer to revive someone.
What?
So it's almost like it's doing the opposite of the effect of Survivor, where you can get revived faster or
It's
whatever
taking
from your teammates.
longer.
It actually makes it slower,
Or slower,
double the
yeah.
time. I don't know. It's really wonky update.
How do they
also
screw
brought
up an
back
update
another
every time?
bug,
I don't get it.
part of thing that this was actually in Warzone 1, and I don't think we had it since then, is that you'll randomly, at the pregame lobby, you can drop your guns or effectively drop your guns. And then when you load into the match, you can just land on your guns and they'll be there. I ended up posting a
Oh, it's
clip over on
back.
Twitter. I might show this up on the screen so you guys can see that. But pretty much it's another bug that's back where you're able to get your
Oh
loadout
my God.
immediately. Not with the perks, but 2 guns is pretty big deal, right? Like you get
Jeez.
both your guns and overkill right off the bat. And you
Yeah.
can place them exactly where you want. I think there was some issues with ranked one-shot sniping being a little bit wonky. Some of the perks not working the way they're supposed to. On perks in general, Ghost was supposed to have a little bit of tweaks to make it a little bit more effective or work the way you would expect, because it was bugged before the update. And everyone kind of had an inkling there were bugs, but they didn't address them until we got the patch notes. And that's an issue. Hybrid is still super bugged, so the movement feels all kinds of wonky. You don't feel like you have a lot of control over it. That goes tied back into the initial comment, whereas like that's an integral part of the game. So hopefully that gets fixed immediately, because it doesn't look like those are intended changes. Like something broke, as in Call of Duty fashion. I don't know how the franchise continues to be successful.
Are they intentionally breaking things? Or do they just not realize that the update they're putting out is about to break something and they won't know until it's out? Or do they just want to see if people will notice something? Like, what are the options here?
When it's that developmentally broken at every update. And although there's a lot of other bad development companies and good ones, I don't know. I've never heard of one that is successful as Call of Duty that drops the ball as often as Call of Duty. So I don't know how that works.
The only competition they have is themselves.
People are used to expecting. There's still a lot of crashing issues. I heard a lot of people having PS5 issues. Obviously, I play on PC on Battle.net, which is the best performance out of anything that you're going to play on PC. No reason to play on Steam. The Xbox One is kind of janky. Battle.net's where you should be playing. You get better frames. It performs better, less crashes. But regardless, that's that. And then Xbox is raising their prices on consoles.
Yeah,
and
that's
games,
weird.
And I don't know, gaming's getting kind of...
Why would they raise their
updates that
prices?
they
The
said
next
that
Call
would
of
be in
Duty is
the
going to go up
patch
too, so...
aren't mentioned anywhere when you select the perks. So when it was supposed to be 3 seconds up to 4 for Survivor, it doesn't like actually adjust in the menus. I haven't had a chance to test it yet. Obviously, I had to put out a video about the close range meta yesterday. I had a level up, unlock, test, and then do a bunch of other Twitter content that I got to put out on update days. A new thing is there's something related to field upgrades. So whatever, if you kill someone, whatever their previous
the field upgrade
was,
switches.
so if they had it on their person, so for example, if they had a loadout, they would drop the loadout. If they used the loadout and you killed them, they would still drop a loadout marker or whatever other field upgrade. Munitions, armor box, those types of things. They'll automatically be issues that are part of it. And as soon as you kill them, they'll drop that item. So it keeps that just that way. That's just a bunch of broken stuff that like we shouldn't be even talking about. We should be really talking about what was in the update.
Yeah, the positives,
which
right?
Was, in my opinion, a very mediocre weapon balancing patch. There was a decent amount of people that were gassing up certain guns and attachments, like the TAC 56 is just okay. It still has a lot of other issues with it. It's definitely better. The HRM definitely got a significant buff, but it's still kind of like blah, in my opinion.
It's wanky.
There's 4 or 5 other
what I mean
options
by
that are
wanky, actually, it should be janky, is that when you ADS and you shoot, it still shakes too much, even with a underbarrel. It basically, it has a good damage, but it shakes so much, it's not even funny.
Is good or better. I think the sniping situation doesn't even look like the intervention got the buff it was supposed to. The HDR is still the most dominant because it guarantees the one shot. They didn't buff any of the long range options in terms of meta to be able to beam a sniper, even though they put through tons of buffs. Most of those are negligible. The TR2, the aka the FAL, is quoted in there in the patch notes as saying this is going to be your sniper contender. Not one person's using that because as soon as they tried it, they realized it's not good and it's not the sniper contender. Maybe in casual BR, but in the regular BR, it's not. And that's that whole bunch. We've already talked plenty about weapons. Maybe they'll get that dialed in at some point. I stopped holding out hope on the balancing. The zips are great to have back on the map. I know we already had them in Plunder. I think they streamline some of the playing process to kind of remove some of the rub points that are just kind of annoying. And I
think redeploy balloon should be back too.
For 17 out of the 21 months that Verdansk was around. Because Verdansk came out in season 3 of March of 2020, and then 4 months later we got season 5, and that's when zips were added. So for those first 4 months, zips weren't in there, and there was a bunch of other stuff. We still had stopping power, dead silence, and a bunch of stuff they didn't bring back.
About stopping power
because they knew that was just ridiculous. There was like a certain point where they're like, "No, we're not going to add that." And zips were in the game for 17 months from season 5 through all the way that year, all the way until we got the integration with Cold War, and then it went a little bit further, and then we got the new map, which was Verdansk 84, new, modified, and then that went all the way to Caldera, where there was zips that entire time, and then we still had zips in Caldera, and that's when they later on added the balloons and all that other nonsense that took it a little bit too far. I know a lot of people are concerned about the zips.
I think redeploy balloons were nice to a sense.
Based off everything I've heard from the community, the devs, the people who work on the game and all that type of stuff, I don't think they have plans of ever having balloons or drones in Battle Royale ever again.
And that's fine. That's fair, you know.
Because, yeah, they're fine. Rebirth's a different mode. Maybe they'll be in Plunder. But Battle Royale, I don't ever see those coming back. And they'll just keep zips and then vehicles, kind of the main modes of transportation. Or elevators to get to a top, to go through another room, to come up to the roof, to jump off if you need to get across, right? And another thing that they didn't even really talk about is there's like 20 plus different Easter eggs on the map. So if you're like an Easter egg hunter, I know there's teams of Discords trying to find all the hidden stuff that's scattered across Verdansk. There's stuff even outside the playable area. So like you have to run out of the map where the screen's like, you're gonna die, grab the item and get back into the map. There's that level of looking for stuff. Bunkers. I think there's something with key cards to get into a safe. I think there's a secret
there is a secret bunker. Oh god, I saw it yesterday too. And the bunker, you can get like a blueprint for one of the guns, which is good. But like, you're gonna get a key card for just a blueprint. I don't know if I would just do that specifically for one specific item. I don't know.
Codes to enter the specific doors.
Maybe if there's other loot there,
and then
but
there's loot inside. So there's a bunch of stuff going on with that. If you're interested in kind of like some of the lore, and there's like hidden notes hidden around the map. I don't really get into too much of the Easter egg and lore unless I get a reward, which to my knowledge, maybe they haven't added the reward, and hopefully they do later on. Or maybe it just is what it is. But either way, that's the state of the game. Thank you. Hopefully this guy plays the game. The other dude was AFK like 80% of the match. What are we doing? Got insta-deleted. All right, so we're on with another guy. He's about to die right here, though. He's trying to make it work. Got to get plated. Top 9. Got to jump down on you. Oh, you might be able to stay in it. Oh, you got shot by somebody else.
Yeah, the update's kind of weird this time
they're
around.
on top. They're going to be in the gas.
They,
oh,
they
no,
didn't
not.
have
They're
any
at the edge
weapon
of the
balancing
building.
for the most part. There were some, not all of
Look
it.
at them. Oh, that guy could just stay
There were some
quiet.
interesting updates. There were some
Yeah, look. Right at the edge here.
things that they should have
don't go
changed, but they
crazy.
didn't. Like, I know people want
Okay.
different guns showing up in the
For it. There's
gulag
still
now.
5
There's a
other
lot of people are
players.
getting pistols.
They're rocking the HDR.
Some people want the HDR just
They
a
got
little bit nerfed.
by the way. All right, good spot. Hide in the foliage. Okay, there's somebody going to be coming up. They're going to be a distraction. Everyone's looking at them. Don't worry. Just clear the side over here. There should be one guy over here and then one over there on the hill where they're fighting. There's actually 2 up there.
They're all over there.
I think the one jumped out of the vehicle. They're both fighting there. 1v1 for everything.
Yeah, it's a very interesting
Got a good
update this
idea
time around.
Using the KSV as well.
KSV is really good.
They don't
That
know
new
where you're
SMG is
at.
really good. AMAX, they
You could
didn't
bait
touch
them
too
if you
much.
throw a
Kilo,
smoke
they
to, like,
buffed
the
it, I believe.
left or the right or something like that.
AK is still good.
Oh, you can see where he popped up. He's calling in a
HRM,
streak. There's the cluster. You
56.
saw them pop up on the minimap. Anytime you use a streak, it will pop up and show you on the minimap. So we did get to see that when they pull out the little keypad.
What? They did?
Oh, you can see where he popped up. He's calling in a streak. There's the cluster. You saw them pop up on
interesting.
the minimap. Anytime you use a streak, it will pop up and show you on the minimap. So we did get to see that when they pull out the little keypad.
So that's kind of how they're going, like, oh, you know, it's coming from,
least the guy
like,
had a good
it's
spot, so maybe
going
they
through this
have,
direction kind of thing.
Oh, there he is. He's on the tree. Oh,
How do you miss that?
He got a sniper as well. Counter snipe off.
Oh,
Bro.
right.
You're dead.
Oh my god.
GG's. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the spectating random and the update on the state of the game. See you on the next one. Thank you for watching. As always, have a great day.
Nah, that update that we got was very, very Call of Duty. I mean, it's neither good nor bad, but you don't live up to the expectations of it. So, are they gonna fix some of the stuff? Not mid-season, but like next week. We'll see. So, but this comes out, maybe they'll have it fixed. Like J God said, his video came out the other day. I'm just coming back to it. So maybe by this time this comes out, it will actually be fixed.